instead of an unboxing video, we're going to do an unbagging video. So you already know what's inside. It's a 100-foot collapsible hose, and I'll get to that, but I want to cover everything in the bag first. The bag itself is actually part of the product. It's a great way to store all the accessories and the hose. First out of the bag, this thing. So it's actually a really convenient design. It's made to hook right onto your hose bib, so no drilling or anything involved. And once it's on your hose bib, there's even little finger grips. You can lift it off. I'll demonstrate that later, and carry the hose around in case you have a lot of slack. Next up, we have the hose itself, which I'll get to later. Of course, instructions, you're probably not going to need these if you've used an expandable hose before, but if not, these might be helpful. Some spare rubber washers. Make sure your hose has these installed before running it. It's going to save you some leaks. The business end. So right off the bat, this thing gets pretty high marks for being such a solid build. I can't really show you super well on video. It just weighs a lot and it feels good in the hand. It's not super small. It kind of has a rubbery grip to it in parts where it matters, and then it's hard plastic elsewhere, so it just feels nice. And it also has a lot of features that I've become very used to in garden hoses these days. So most importantly for me when I'm watering lots of plants is this little clip right here. It keeps it on. It's also adjustable so you can get a high flow rate, low flow rate. It's really nice to have. Saves your fingers. There's also a lot of different selectable modes on here. One for pretty much any scenario you're going to be using the hose, whether that's cleaning your deck, washing your car, or just watering your flowers. There's a selectable option for pretty much every single one of those. So I'll talk about the ends in a little bit, but first I want to talk about the actual hose itself. If you've never owned an expandable hose before, these are going to blow your mind. It's exactly how it sounds. It expands. So this hose can stretch up to like 100 feet or something. Right now, it's definitely less than half of that. It's probably like 40 feet. But the trick is when you fill it with water, it expands to full width. And if you have decent water pressure, it stays at that length. But when you release the water pressure and get rid of all the water in there, just let it drain out basically, it'll shrink back down. So that presents two huge advantages. One, it's super lightweight. If you've ever had a big rubber garden hose that, even if you've tried to empty most of the water, it's still super heavy to lug around. This is incredibly lightweight for 100 feet of this stuff. It's awesome. And two, it doesn't kink, like ever. You'd be hard pressed to kink this. In fact, that's maybe one of the disadvantages of this is you can't play pranks on people by kinking the hose around the corner because you just can't do it with this stuff. So for the ends, you of course have the part that connects to your hose bib or other hose in case you need like 200 feet of this stuff. And then you have your spigot, I guess you would call it. A few interesting features to note about this is they have this little rubber thing that further prevents any possible kink. So as if these weren't hard enough to kink already, that makes it almost impossible, which is a good thing. And then where the water comes out, you have this really nice, substantial ball valve lever. It's on there really good. Doesn't feel like it's loose or anything. It does have a set screw in case you need to tighten it up, but this feels like it's on there pretty good. And we also have the rubber kink stopper as well. So without further ado, I really want to get this out in the yard and try it out. Alright guys, so here we are in the backyard. I'm going to hook it up just like any other hose out there. And you'll see I get to use this fun little hook thing they included. I've never seen anything quite like this. And this is actually replacing a big giant hose cart that I used for another hose in my previous life. And so this is a huge space saver. And you'll see that cart in some of these other shots here coming up. But you can take this and walk around with it and hang it back up. And it's overall just a great little feature they've added to this product. So here I want to show you just how long the hose can get. Right now it's unpressurized, give you a shot of both angles. Oh, hey dog, how's it going? And once we turn the pressure on, the magic happens, and your mileage may vary depending on your city water pressure, but this hose took probably about 15 seconds to expand at full width. Not bad considering how large it is, and when you consider you can totally leave the end open on this hose and continue using it while it's expanding. That's another plus. But right now it's fully expanded and I'm just stretching it all the way out to show you guys just how crazy long this hose got, and notice no kinks along the way, which is just such an awesome feature about this. Showing off a little bit about the different spray patterns, you can see they have mists and jets and super jets and streams and cones and soakers and all sorts of awesome little doodads on the end bit there that'll, you know, really just allow you to use this in such a variety of situations. But yeah, no, I really love it. I was expecting to love it. I've owned one of these in the past. I've unfortunately left it at a home I sold, so I'm really happy to be reunited with another great expandable hose, and I can definitely recommend it to you.